Alright, so welcome to another review from the RV. I'm still in travel mode, and I just put together this A case. I have 3 of them. I picked them up on Kickstarter. Worked out to about 49 bucks for it. I looked online a while back. It's at www.army-case.com, and they were listed as 129, but I can't believe that that will be the price for very long. It says it holds 130 regular minis, and then just from the external dimensions, it's 10.5 inches tall, 11.5 inches wide, and 6.5 inches in depth. The case itself, inside, you take about a ½ inch off of there, so 10 by 11 by 6 inside. Actually, the case itself, I'm sorry, let me flip around. The case itself inside we'll talk about in a minute. But anyway, so on this side, it's got a nice little pouch for codex, rule book, whatever. It's got some Velcro here and Velcro down this side. I guess if you want to stick patches and stuff on it. It does come with a fairly decent strap. You're not going to get a whole lot of 130 minis is not a ton of weight. I guess if they're metal it could be. But the case itself is a little heavy, so you might want that strap. It zips pretty well, the case very well padded. And then on the inside, you have these shelves, and then the way you move the shelves around are there these pins on the side. You pull them out on either side of it, slide it out, and then put it into the next groove, and then you repin it. It comes with enough pins to do the front and the back. I don't bother because it's not going anywhere. And I don't like having to pull it out of the case. That is the only difficult part of putting this together, is getting this inside the case. Anyway, this case itself is 10 by 11 by 6, but the internal diameter where you can actually put your minis is right at about 9¼ height. But if you pull out this one completely, and just, and don't, so that you can use the bottom itself, you add about a ½ inch, so get it up to 9¾ inches total height. I'm just going to leave that out for now. It's an all metal case, so it's used to be used with magnetized models, so I've got some models of different sizes. So, grotesque, down here, put them down here. Got a couple little scourges here. Just a standard size Dark Eldar Mini, and then some Slith. Now magnetized, so turn them sideways, so it's nice metal. Like I said, they say you can put 130 minis in here. The 20mm minis, they say you can get 66 of them on a tray, 45 of the 25mm ones, and 28 of your 32mm. That's what it says on the Kickstarter page. So some of the things I like about this is it's fairly light. It's much lighter than the table war cases. I'm going to do a compare and contrast here later on that. You can be creative with it. So it's a full metal case. So if you really feel like stacking another set of minis upside down, or up against the wall, you can do that. So that I can see how that could be handy. You could get a lot of minis in that way. Some of the other things that I liked about it, it's smaller. It feels smaller than the Table War case. And just to compare, a Table War Mini will hold about 90 25mm, or 20mm models. The half 130 to maybe 150. So holds about the same, really, because nobody does all just those little minis. Now if you start stacking upside down and doing all that kind of stuff, you probably could get more miniatures in here. The bag seems pretty darn well constructed. It's padded. The zipper works well. I've had 3 of these and I haven't had any zipper issues. It is easy to assemble, except it can be tough getting the metal frame into the bag, but it should be tight. If it was loose and not easy to get in, that would be a problem. And then, you know, overall the drawers do stay in place fairly well. They don't slide around, so the pin system works. The things I don't like about it, it's got some sharp edges. You could cut yourself. Even these, they're okay rounded, but it is still possible, and you know, the sharp edges can catch in the bag and make it difficult to get it in. Changing shells are, you know, it's double-edged sword. The pins help keep it in place, but they can be a pain. And if you were one of the kind that need to put those back pins in, it's going to be a real pain to change your shelf structure. The drawers don't slide in and out real well because these, you know, it is machined. You roll them, so they can be off a little bit. So they can sometimes catch and be a little bit of a pain. That's pretty darn minor. And then the top doesn't open. That's the big one. What I really like about the tableware cases, and what I really like about most of the battle foam cases, and even some of the other low-cost cloth cases, is that it opens all the way to the top. So that is sort of a downer, but on the other hand, you can't put things upside down in them either. So overall, I think it is a pretty good case. I do think the machining could be a little more precise, because some of the things don't fit well together, which brings me to extra shelves. Cost about $10 on the website, and they do have the paint shelves. So these are shelves that you could, you know, theoretically make this into a painting one. I would absolutely recommend against these. They are machined so that they do not actually fit the bottles that they say they do. You know, Reaper Vallejo will not go in these without stripping the labels off, and you've got to really push hard. GW paints don't fit in the GW ones. They flop all around because they're too big. And then the one for Privateer Press doesn't really fit anything either. And you've got these massive ones that are just way too big for anything to be very useful. But the biggest pain is that you can't even get your Reaper ones in here. In fact, let me grab. So they sit on it really nice, but they do not go in. And I contacted the gentleman who runs it. Now the Army Painter fits. Reaper does not. He has not responded. He is not willing to actually refit these. I mean, this sort of fits. They're okay. They'll fall out, but that don't get those. And then you can see you can't fit a GW in here at all into this one. So really the only thing that's useful is for the few Army Painter ones will fit, and you can put some GW in these 9 slots, and that's it. So don't get the paint ones. That's my rant for the day. They need to fix their machining first. But other than that, I like the case as a case. It's a really nice case. It works well. That's really all. I will do a separate compare and contrast with the Tableware case, because I happen to have 2 of those with me as well. Alright, so until next time, this is the A case from www.army-case.com. I have no affiliation with it. Bought it on Kickstarter. If you can get them cheap, I think $50 may be a little bit much for this. Personally, at $35, I would take it all day. $50, you've got to really have a lot of minis and do a lot of traveling and want to magnetize them, and like it better than the Tableware cases, which are pretty darn nice as well. So that being said, thanks for watching, and till next time, happy gaming.